As you already know, the UK left the EU political structures and the European Parliament on January 31st in 2020. Now, some Brexiteers blame the government for not implementing Brexit properly, and other people want the UK to join the EU again. The EU, of course, moved forward after Brexit, so in the next weeks I will make a test here on this channel by bringing news about the EU in one of my daily videos. And that's supposed to keep people informed what the UK initially left and what people want to return to, and to make informed decisions and to give it a more fact-based approach. And since my magazine channel is reserved for information on the development of the Russian war of aggression against Ukraine for the time being anyway, it is another reason to do this here on this channel. But honestly, I anyway believe that exactly my audience on this channel needs this kind of information. And look for the new EU playlist as well. But now let's talk about today's topic. The European Commission has reimposed a fine of around 376 million euros on Intel for a previously established abuse of dominant position in the market for computer chips called x86 central processing units, and Intel engaged in a series of anti-competitive practices aimed at excluding competitors from the relevant market in breach of EU antitrust rules. In 2009, the Commission fined Intel 1.06 billion euros after finding that Intel abused its dominant position in the market for those CPUs, and the Commission decision was based on findings that Intel had engaged in two specific forms of illegal practices. Once given wholly or partially hidden rebates to computer manufacturers on condition that they bought all or almost all their CPUs from Intel, so-called conditional rebates. And secondly, paying computer manufacturers to halt or delay the launch of specific products containing competitors' x86 CPUs and to limit the sales channels available to these products. That was the so-called naked restrictions. In 2022, the General Court partially annulled the 2009 Commission decision, in particular the Commission's finding related to Intel's conditional rebates practice. At the same time, the General Court confirmed that Intel's naked restrictions amounted to an abuse of dominant market position under EU competition rules. The General Court also annulled the fine imposed on Intel in its entirety after concluding that it could not establish the amount of the fine relating only to the naked restrictions. Following this judgment, the Commission is now adopting a new decision imposing a fine on Intel only for the naked restrictions. These restrictions took place between November 2002 and December 2006 and consisted in payments made by Intel to three computer manufacturers, that's HP, Acer and Lenovo, to halt or delay the launch of specific products containing competitor CPUs and to limit the sales channels available to these products. Naked restrictions constitute a serious infringement of Article 102 in the Treaty of the Functioning of the European Union, and the Commission has therefore decided to reimpose a fine of around 376 million euros on Intel. The lower fine imposed by this decision reflects the narrower scope of the infringement compared to the 2009 Commission decision. This decision is without prejudice to the Commission's pending appeal against the General Court's annulment of its 2009 finding of infringement as regards Intel's conditional rebates. Article 102 of the TFEU and Article 54 of the European Economic Area Agreement prohibit the abuse of a dominant position. On July 26 in 2007, the Commission opened proceedings and adopted a statement of objections against Intel. On July 17 in 2008, the Commission sent a supplementary statement of objections and subsequently a letter outlining additional factual elements relevant to the final decision. On May 13th in 2009, the Commission fined Intel this 1.06 billion for abusing its dominant positions in the market for the CPUs. In 2014, the General Court dismissed Intel's appeal against the 2009 Commission decision. In 2017, following an appeal by Intel, the Court of Justice of the European Union annulled the 2014 General Court's judgment and referred the matter back to the General Court. In its judgment, the Court of Justice further clarified the conditions to establish when conditional rebates may amount to an infringement of EU competition rules. At the same time, it asked the General Court to review whether the conditional rebates were capable of restricting competition in view of certain economic evidence Intel had relied on before the General Court in 2014. In 2022, the General Court ruled again on the matter and annulled the part of the 2009 Commission's decision concerning the conditional rebates, but confirmed the unlawfulness of Intel's naked restrictions, as I said. The General Court also annulled the fine imposed on Intel in its entirety after concluding that it could not establish the amount of the fine relating only to the naked restrictions, as I said before. The Commission has appealed the part of the 2022 judgment of the General Court concerning the conditional rebates at the Court of Justice, and this appeal is still pending. More information will be made available under the case number 8037990 in the Public Case Register on the Commission's competition website once any confidentiality issues have been resolved. And a periodic compilation of antitrust and cartel news is available in the Competition Weekly News Summary of the Commission as well. So the Commission website has a lot of interesting stuff there, but I know that a lot of people are not into doing this work of searching, and that's another reason for doing these videos. And if you want to know more information right now, the next video is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.